suppose this will be my first actual video. I did record another video, but it did not go too well. The frame rate just was cracked, but well, not cracked, it was bugged. It was just so bad. But also I apologize for my horrible gameplay. I'm playing on PC and I usually play on console, but and I apologize if you can hear my keys ticking in the background. I am gonna link up my controller soon, but I wanted to get this video out of the way. I just wanted to get started on doing this YouTube thing because I've been wanting to do it for a while and I've been talking about it for a while, so I think it's better to just get out of the way, get started on it and create a new project. So today I wanted to talk about this might be quite a dividing subject, maybe like not so much tough for people, but maybe kind of controversial for some people, and it's that young relationships or relationships when you're young aren't meant to last. This is my own personal belief. Obviously, you don't have to believe this because it's your choice, these are things you need to believe or have to, or you're the viewer, you make up your own opinion on whatever you consume. So I suppose I mean maybe this is also biased from my experience with relationships when I was young, like the relationships I had when I was young. Well, not young, I'm not ancient, but younger. Not bad. Yeah, I feel like not so much for a negative reason these things don't last. Obviously there's people who are high school sweethearts and they stay together forever and all this and that, and for me I feel like that's one in like a million. That is never a common occurrence, and you don't really hear it being a common occurrence. Like I don't know many people who I went to school with stayed in the same relationship with the same person from school and carried it through. They always ended up moving to someone else, or things went bad or whatever. I don't really know. I didn't really stay in touch with a lot of people from school. But yeah, I wanted to bring up this subject, especially for I don't know. I don't even know how to duck on this game mode, man. Not game mode. Using mouse and keyboard. I feel like an idiot. Crouch, prone or whatever you nerds call it. I think those young relationships are not so much, they're not created, but they're put in the way for lessons rather than love. But I don't think these relationships you have when you are young are ever meant to last. From my point of view, I've never seen them last really, and I've never had any that lasted, either due to me or the other person. But I think these relationships build lessons and they build character within you. They build a person, they build morals, and they define you for maybe however long. They might define you only for a month, they might define you for 2 years, 3 years, your life. It doesn't, there's no set time for how long these things will define you or how relevant these lessons stay to you as a person. Because a lot of these lessons don't, from young relationships, they don't apply for you to the rest of your life. I think because you are very obviously ignorant, and not so much ignorant, but you're very unaware, oblivious, and to how real relationships work. And you're just used to either seeing your parents or on TV, like the whole perfect relationship, and you think everything's gonna be fucking sunshine and rainbows for the rest of your life and with the first person you meet, but it never is. It might be. You might be one of the lucky few, which honestly I respect that heavily. I think that's beautiful that people are able to do that. I think these young relationships are created to define you as a human, as how you go into relationships further in your life, and then they are never ever meant to last. Like people, I think movies and TV and film have really put a false perspective into people's heads of how these relationships are meant to work. Like love at first sight, that doesn't exist in my opinion. I believe attraction at first sight exists, definitely. This weapon is so shit, man. I believe attraction at first sight exists. You see someone and you know their energy and how you look at them and how they look, it's like, wow, that person's, you know, they're beautiful, or I really want to speak to that person, or etc etc. You know, that's how things work. But love at first sight isn't a real thing. I mean, it's definitely not for me. It is 100% not for me, and you may relate to this, you might not, but for me, I have to speak to someone first. I have to get to know them. I have to not so much trust them, but I have to like have a slight understanding of how they work as a human being to see if they're fit for me. Which in my first relationship, I thought it was. Like, I thought this girl was, you know, good for me. I thought she was perfect. I thought she was beautiful, you know, the normal things of having a relationship, especially first one. You see the girl and you're like, damn, she's bad. Damn, that's embarrassing. You know what I mean? You think, wow, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. But honestly, that ignorance is hilarious. But you can't even blame the person. You can't even blame yourself, because you're just a young person at the point. Also, I think I should probably state this now that I'm like deep into the subject. This account and this YouTube channel will just be for me to kind of be like a digital diary. You can take the advice how it comes, how it goes, and if you like it, you like it. If you want to use the advice, you can. I'm not one of those accounts that is like here to give you life advice. I'm not David Goggins, you know. I'm not one of them dudes. Like, I'm definitely not qualified for that. I don't have enough experience in life, but I can say I've had experiences enough to want to talk about them, as, you know, have people relate to them and whatever. Sort of. Yeah, so I'm not a qualified like therapist or whatever. I'm just a person who thinks too much and needs to get, you know, his mind off shit. So he made a YouTube channel so other people could speak about it and be like, yeah, that's pretty real, man. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. Yeah, so as I was saying, these young relationships, they don't last there. I think they're mediate, like middlemen for how you grow up and how you treat others, like other relationships and partners down the line, which obviously is obvious, but I think at the time, because you're so like not oblivious, but like you're very much so just like blinded by the face of love, and you know, you become infatuated with this person, and you put them on a pedestal, and you think, wow, like I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with this person and all this stuff and all that, you know. You think everything's absolute fine and dandy, and obviously it's not. Like, it is for the time being, because you have that honeymoon phase of your first relationship, or you maybe your fifth young relationship or whatever. It does. I don't think it really matters, but each person who comes into life, I believe they bring a type of lesson, especially people who you're in a relationship with, because they bring, I think, the most intimate lessons, because obviously you share intimacy with this person, you share love with this person that isn't the same level as, you know, your friends. Like, you can say you love your homies, you know, your brethren and all that, like, you do, because, you know, you might treat them like family, but that's different. It's a different type. It's a different, and it's hard to explain that to people, even though they probably know what it feels like, because, you know, they may have been in love, or maybe they haven't, and they, you know, some people haven't been. And I think each person who you meet brings a very, like, not a unique lesson, because obviously these lessons are learned through millions of people, but it's unique to you. You know, you might not have experienced that type of lesson, or that type of experience, or relationship, or whatever they have, you know, whatever they bring to the table. But I think allowing those, maybe the negatives of those young relationships to go further into, especially further into your life, can be some extreme downfalls. Whoa. can have some extreme downfalls. Like some people become bit. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh my god, how am I still alive? Oh my god. Some people become bitter at, you know, women or men, and they blame them for everything. You know, say they're the cause of all their problems and whatever else people like to say on the internet. But that isn't real. That is not I'm dead. No, you know, that is not. That's not human, in my opinion. I believe that's a source of the internet. You know, allowing people to be like that, allowing people to fuel that spite towards another gender just because they've been, you know, maybe had a bad relationship with them in the past when they were a kid. I mean, I was definitely one like that for a while. I definitely didn't hate women. That's, you know, insane. But I didn't treat them the best. You know, I didn't treat them the best. But even when one time I, you know, kind of pulled my boundaries down and decided, alright, I'll try and treat her better than the other ones, it got pushed back in my face. You know, I got treated like dirt. I got treated like a subject of just like how much she could torment me. You know, I got treated to not very nice conditions, I'll say the least, but I was basically this girl's puppet to see how. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. We're keeping that in though. That's so embarrassing. But yeah, you know, I got treated like I was this girl's, you know, puppet, I suppose. She just, you know, thought I was her. Just, she could basically treat me however she liked and see how far she could push me. And honestly, for a while, I let her do it. And that really pushed me to my limit. And luckily, I had some great friends at the time. I mean, I still do. They're still my friends, but like, especially specifically at that time. I mean, especially one friend. He really helped me through some of the stuff that happened through that time, and I'm grateful to him. You know, it's like that's like my brother. I was lucky enough to have those people around me to, you know, allow me to not be blinded by the conditions I was treated to, and say like to be like okay with it. Because for a while I let this girl just treat me however she wanted, and you know, she went and I'm not certain, but I'm you know, she did some horrible things. We'll put it that way, and you can take a guess, and you're probably right. You're probably right. She wasn't very mentally all there. Say that much. The thing is, for a while, I let the things she did against me, like, to corrupt me. You know, I let those things, like, get to my head. I let those things turn me into a person that I'm not, because she made me suffer. I thought, right, well, I'm gonna make these other people suffer. You know, this other girl suffer, or these other girls suffer, and because I wasn't treated right, like, that's just, it's for one, it's like, it's corny, you know, like, it's corny, like, if you know, that's what you want to do, go for it. Like, I ain't judging, but I am judging. But I'll judge silently, you know, but I just think it's like, why? What's the point? And it really doesn't get you anywhere. Like, you can it'll leave you in a hollow state, you know. But it'll leave you as a hollow person, you know. You can't fill the void of what one person left with other women. Ooh, shit. With other women or substances or whatever. That stuff doesn't. That shit will just leave you worse, man. But the lessons that I took from that relationship, and other ones before that especially, I think they made me realise that young relationships really are like a testing ground. Like, they're a testing ground for your mental fortitude. They're a testing ground for you as a human on how you can adapt. Like, how you can adapt to new lessons, how you can adapt to change, how you can adapt to how other people are and how you can't control it. Because, you know, you can't control what these other people think or do or what they say. You can tell them, like, you shouldn't be doing that, or like, I don't like that, but to them it might not matter. They might not care. They might just go do whatever they want, and that's, you can't control that. Shit, man, I didn't mean to get that. But yeah, I was taught some very, very significant lessons, and I believe every single young relationship, especially, I think relationships all the way from, I'd say, definitely 16, because if you didn't get your heart broken at 16 as a man, wait till you get to 20, bro. That's you're gonna be cooked, man. Real shit. I think all the way from 16 to 20, I think that's when, like, not to 20 specifically, but through your 20s, I think that's when you learn, like, the most important lessons of, like, those young relationships. And I think, you know, it is kind of obvious. I'm kind of talking about an obvious subject, but I don't think you realise it really when you're doing it. You're kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm here with this girl. You know, I'm like, I like this girl a lot, whatever, you know, we're in a relationship, etc. Cheating or whatever you guys do. You go out for picnics and shit like that. But I think it also lets you measure yourself as a character. Like, how do you approach love? You know, how do you approach relationships? How do you, you know, do things? Like, some people are like crazy romantic. You know, some people don't really like doing that, and that's just how you are. So I think it also lets you it lets you, like, kind of measure out who you think, like, you deserve, or like who you want to be with. Because honestly, I know a lot. Well, I don't know a lot of people, but I've heard of a lot of people who have never been in a relationship. Like, even through their teens, they just didn't get into relationships, and they've never been in one, or they've never had a girlfriend, or they've never done anything with a girl or with a guy or whatever. You know, they've never done anything. Which to me it's like you're missing out on such a significant, like, group set of specific lessons that teach you how to be human. You know what I mean? How to be, not to be human. I'm not dehumanizing the people who haven't, because that's crazy. But, like, how to be human in a relationship. How to measure how you. Oh my! You can tell I don't play keyboard or mouse because this is tragic. How you want to set, like, maybe your boundaries. How you want to be treated. How you believe you treat the other person, and if that's correct, and how you can do it to another person. You know, how you can treat them with the respect you think, you know, okay, this is a good level. Like, I want to give them this. I want to treat them like that. You know, I think it basically just gives you those, like, building blocks for other things. Actually, I might leave that for another video about toxic relationships. Ugh, because some of them are crazy. I got some crazy stories, man. I need to get rid of this ray gun. You know, I don't care. Some people might be like, that's crazy. Why would you do that? But honestly, bro, a ray gun is not that good. Especially V1. If I get the V2, I'll be using that. I'll definitely be using the V2. Oh my god. I'm so bad on keyboard and mouse. It's embarrassing. Mate, wait till I get on the sticks, kid. I'm absolutely gutted on the sticks, man. But I think especially if, you know what, I'll talk about it now. I'll talk about it a little bit. I think if you've had toxic relationships since you was a kid, especially with partners, that is a huge, it's like a misguidance, you know what I mean? It's like a misguidance to how relationships are, and I feel like it sets up like indescribable negative boundaries to, oh no, I might be the worst keyboard and mouse player. I think it sets up indescribable boundaries for you as a person, especially at a young age. It sets, like, false images in your head of how relationship should be and how you should be treated. I mean, me especially, like, I haven't been treated very fairly, I'll say, in a lot of the relationships I've had. Like, it always seemed like I was the one putting out too much, and then they didn't like it. So Like well, obviously in your first relationship, you're always like a bit of a nice guy. Like you want to be like, oh yeah, like being all cute and shit like that. Like, you know, that's being a kid. That's normal. But like even in some of the other ones, I moderated how much I gave out to myself. This is it, man. Gave myself out to that person, and even then I still got it, you know, thrown back in my face. So I think I learned to maybe like really not like I did for a long time. I kind of like not secluded myself, but I really reserved myself. Like I was basically playing like a different character, you know. I wasn't even playing me, you know. I was being a robot. It was just another person in my body for a while. What the hell? I need that max so bad. Oh my god, this is it. I was a different person in my own body. Because I was being a person with me, I became very narcissistic. I'll be real, I became super narcissistic for a time. And that caused, you know, strain on me, some of the friends around me, other people, other girls that I'd spoken to. And it just didn't set up like a nice image. Honestly, this video is basically just me yapping. Probably talking about the same thing 20 times, and that's calm. I should probably write more down, because honestly I kind of lose track. I think the main thing is to just be aware that maybe, don't get me wrong, don't set a boundary in your head that this relationship won't last, like this won't last at all, like it's just, you know, it's fake or whatever. It might not be. This might be, you know, the love of your life that you legit sat with or talked to or whatever. But you know, take it for granted, you know. Like things can change, things do end, and things become lessons. You know, mistakes become lessons every time. Every time you cause a mistake, it just becomes another lesson for you to take advantage of. And some people don't see it. Some people just think, wow, okay, that happened, and they just don't learn. Which to me is crazy. I think that's crazy. Take advantage of the lessons you learn. You know, don't think, oh, I'll just go do it again. It might change. It might be a different outcome. Highly fucking unlikely. I'm gonna be so real. Things happen for a full-blown reason. Maybe not everything, but a lot of it does. But I think I'm gonna leave this video here. I might post it, I might not. If it gets posted, it's because it was actually, I wasn't just yapping. So this is my first video. I appreciate anyone who watched it. Hopefully there will be more to come, definitely. But I think I'm gonna maybe structure them a little bit better. Maybe write some stuff, so I'm not just yapping over and over. So I appreciate anyone watching. Appreciate anyone who's watched, commented, liked, anything, subscribed. I'm not too bothered. But yeah, man. Keep it real, man. Keep it real. See you guys in the next one, innit?